I know of a minister who he had a big ministry, and he fell many, many years ago. Very big public scandal, wound up in prison. And he was asked, what does it feel like to have God's judgment? And he said, being in prison. He said, no. Prison was not God's judgment. Prison was God's mercy. Had he not been in prison, he said, had I not gone to prison, I would have died and likely gone to hell away from God. Now, I don't care what your theology is, that was his perspective. He believed he had known God, he had walked away and despised the things that God had given him in such a manner, he squandered them on himself, and that he would have then continually been away from God. So, what I see here in this Jonah story is, Nineveh was this city that was away from God. God was sending them a messenger who didn't want to go. In God's mercy, and even though in Jonah's disobedience, he put him in some unpleasant circumstances, but then drops him right off in the place that he wants him to do what he needs him to do. Jonah goes around Nineveh and starts preaching. Starts telling them, repent! Now what does he want? He doesn't want him to repent. He doesn't want him to repent. He wants them to continue because he wants to see God smite them. Smite him, almighty smiter. He wanted to heap destruction on his enemies. What did they do? If you know the story of Jonah and in Nineveh, Nineveh repents. From the king all the way down to the last servant, Nineveh repents. What happens? No destruction. And Jonah gets mad. He walks up on a hill and he's like, come on. Have you ever felt like there were some things people were doing weren't right, and then you watch them crash and burn? Do you guard against saying, ha-ha? Do you guard against saying, I told you so? Do you guard against saying, that's what they deserve? You better. You better. Love is gentle. One of the things that it says there, it does not rejoice in evil. So when somebody receives evil for their doing, it's not a time to rejoice. That's not easy.